What's up guys, Natalia here from Mom's Dish. I am happy you're here because we're making Philly cheesesteak. I might be from Seattle, but I know a thing or two about the best Philly cheesesteak. So if you're not in Philly, that's okay, because you can make this at home and it's gonna be bomb. And here are your ingredients for the recipe. So we have some salt, pepper, and oil. This is gonna be for cooking part. We have a yellow onion. It has to be quite large because that gives us so much flavor for the meat, so the larger the better. The green bell peppers are great for this recipe. Like red bell peppers, they have a lot of sweetness, but these bell peppers are just perfect. I don't even know how to describe the flavor, but get the green ones. Provolone cheese, and then slices are great. Don't get like shredded, slices are perfect, and I'll show you why. Then we have mushrooms, a soft, this is not a bun, this is a roll, a soft roll. So the softer the better, that way you can put in meat in here and just squish it in with the juices. I'll show that to you in a little bit. And then we have some beef right here, and I will talk about that in a little bit, show you the type of cut I got and give you some tips. So here are my tips about the beef. You can get pretty much any cut, but the trick with Philly cheesesteak is you have to cut it into the tiniest pieces possible. That's what makes the best sandwich. So what I like to do is I put these pieces of meat flat on a plate and I put it in the freezer while I'm working on the other ingredients. So that's what I'm gonna do with this, and we'll come back to it. So while the beef is getting a little frosty, we're gonna cut up those vegetables. And I like to put them in this kind of like glass bowls. That way we're ready to go when everything's all cut up. All done with the mushrooms. We'll set this aside while we work on bell peppers. So for the bell pepper, I like to cut off the top like this. And then we get rid of the seeds. Oh, come on. And then we'll slice it into strips. We're done with bell peppers. Gonna start on the onion and just cut it as thin as possible into half rings like this. If you have tricks for me not to cry, let me know in the comments, because onions always make me cry. Sometimes Tim makes me cry. Most of the time, onions make me cry. So the beef has hardened a little bit. You can see on the edges, and that's like perfect for cutting beef. And it has some pieces of like fatty parts, and I'm gonna just cut it out, and we're not gonna cook that. We don't need that part. So let's do this. I'm gonna cut out this fatty part right now. I just don't want that chunk of fattiness because it gives it a nicer bite without of it. And let me work in smaller pieces. Let's do this. And you want to cut it as thin as possible. Like as you can see right here, the piece is quite thin, and that's gonna give you that nice flavor, nice bite, because we're gonna brown the beef. Now we're gonna cook all the vegetables in a preheated skillet. This is quite hot, I can feel it right here, and that's the perfect temperature. So let's drizzle a little bit of oil. And let's wait for it to smoke up just slightly, because I want that like a little char of like browning on the vegetables, and that's gonna be perfect. I think this is warm enough. We're gonna add all the vegetables. You can add them all together. You just want it to cook on really high heat. It doesn't have to cook forever, just to get that coloring, because that's what adds a lot of flavor. So start with mushrooms. Then we have bell peppers. You hear that? And onions. Season it slightly with some salt and pepper. Okay, now we'll toss it together. I'll let this cook for just a little bit, and then I'll do another churn But the higher the heat, the better. You just want to get that good color. I keep on talking about the color, but that's what gives you flavor. As you can see, all the vegetables really shrink quite a bit, and that's perfect. They have this nice golden brown color. I'm gonna remove them from this skillet, and we'll use the same skillet to cook beef in, but we'll set them aside for now, and then we'll add them back with beef. But look at this. Love the color. We have vegetables sitting aside, but in the same skillet, you don't need to wash it. You can just toss in beef and cook it on high heat. So the higher the heat, the better. If you want to do this, this is loud, but that's what you want to hear, is this sound. This is what we're looking for. So the beef is nice and golden brown, and this is when you want to season it with some salt and pepper. Keep in mind you're adding cheese to this, so it's going to be more salty because of cheese, but I still like a little more salt on it. So just like this. Philly doesn't really require a lot of like different weird seasonings. Just simple salt and pepper works. Toss this together. Oh, I love the smell already. And now we're gonna add the vegetables back into the skillet. Let's do this. Now I'm gonna toss it back up together. I have turned down the heat, and now I'm gonna place the cheese on top. So that's why I said slices are perfect, because they'll leave those like pieces and chunks of cheese in it. So I layer it like this. And if you are doing this on a grill outside, if you have one of those flat grills, you can do this on a grill, and you can place cheese on the bottom and the meats on top, and like create this crispy browning on cheese. That also works as well, but we're compromising. We're inside the house. Honestly, we need more cheese. So I'm gonna just put these pieces all around the corners, and I'll allow this to melt, and then we will fill the buns. While the cheese is melting, I like to cut through the buns a little bit more. That way I have a little bit more of the opening. So just be careful, don't cut your hand. You can open them up fully and just add that golden crust on the inside. So like opening them up like this and put them on a skillet, browning them. I don't really care for that flavor of like browning, but people do that as well, so you can do that. But we're gonna go in and like put the juices and the cheesy filling on the inside now. So let's do this. So here's what I'm doing right now. I'm twisting the cheese with the meat just a little bit, and I'm gonna fill it up inside this roll in here. Keep on wanting to say they're buns, but they're not buns. I know they're not buns. Look at that. If you're not convinced, I don't know what you're doing. I am all done filling them up. We make this Philly cheesesteak so many different ways. So we make them with sliders for the football season, because you can do a whole tray of them and just serve it for everybody all on a tray with like little bites. It's perfect. Then we also have a low carb version. When we're watching our waistline, you can do the low carb version too. It's filled with bell pepper and cheese. It's so good. We will link to those recipes down below, that way you can try them. But this is the classic way to go, and let's do this taste test. Oh my gosh, it's really overfilled. There's no cute way of doing this. I'm gonna finish this. I want to finish this, but first I want to tell you something. You should subscribe. Come on. Subscribe. Comment. Let us know what you think about these recipes, because we do want to hear from you. It really matters what you guys say, because we listen, we read all those comments, and we will make plans for the future. I appreciate your time today. I hope you make this recipe, because it's amazing. Bye.